All right, what's up, people? Now this is going to be an interesting video because this one is going to be my next on the tarot. And what I've done here is, okay, these are what we've covered so far, which again is not much. But then again, hey, I have a lot of time on my hands, or do I? I'm wondering if I'm ever going to make it through this. Because seriously, I'm only scratching the fucking surface. So this is what we have so far. Okay? Now this is what I want to do, right? Because this is obvious, right? Except I can't do that. I just can't. And the reason why is because of this guy right here. That guy has to go off into purgatory for a second. And the reason why is something that I've hinted at in the last couple videos, which is Aleister Crowley's double switch. Based on a verse in the Book of the Law, he switched this card's attributions. Now, what is an attribution? An attribution is where you put this on the paths, right? So normally everything would go in sequence, but what ends up happening is that you're talking about this here, for the Emperor. Strange, right? It's a symmetry break. It's so beautiful. When you finally get what's happening, you're going to get it. But I'm not going to be able to do that in just this one video, because I want to try to keep these short, because I know YouTube attention spans are pretty short. Yeah, exactly. That was an unintended parallel. I should have said something different. Should have switched my words up a little bit. So we're just going to be dealing with this chick here for now, because we don't realize what's really going on. And the funny thing about it all is that what I want to say is, I was going to bring these guys in because these are the next guys. And actually, what ends up happening, you'll see, oh, sorry, let's focus. You see that guy right there, the Hierophant? Now, who do you think that guy is right there that's officiating over the, look, this is what ends up happening. Okay, look, if I wanted to, let me just try to do this a little bit here, because what's really happening is that we're seeing an entirely new. If I put it this way, that might make a little more sense, right? You're going to see what's going to start happening, but we can't do that really, and we have to keep this guy a little bit. Even though, again, and like I said, I have my. They're over there. Fuck it. You've seen them. Is that Crowley breaks the symmetry. Right? So now we have the Empress. So this video is going to be about the second pair, part 1, and maybe we'll get back to the second pair, part 2, the Emperor, in the next video. And that's when I'm really going to discuss the symmetry break and the star and the Emperor and what's really going on, what Crowley did, and why the Thoth Tarot is just, it's brilliant. Because you can take any glyph and you can manipulate it, you can reword it, you can rewrite it, and what he did was just brilliant. And nobody's even come close to that. I think the closest I've seen done to that is the Naus deck, which is the, it's basically the O&A deck. It's Christos Beast, his fucking artwork and shit like that, and his iconography, and, you know, you can make this whatever you want. And that's kind of the point. That's kind of the point what I did with Seer, right? Is I created a novel, Sephira. I just created it. Where did it come from? It came from nowhere. It came from the fact that I am a creator. I am somebody that's able to magically create a world. That's what this whole fucking thing is about. That's where this whole thing came from. Do you think these are sacred things? It's a way of understanding the world. So, who is this lady here? Well, I would say it's primordial womanhood. Now, you notice how it goes from, you know, you could say male, female, but these are prior to maleness and femaleness as like gender, or like I say biological. It's deeper than that. They're almost androgynous in their maleness and their femaleness. But then you start getting into, and you know, I'll pull him back in a little bit. you start getting into the really female and the really male, right? Look how they're facing each other, right? They're not. They don't give a shit. See? So that's like the sacred order. This is starting to get more mundane. And we'll get into that when we start drawing down the Trumps and like all hail President Trump. No, I'm just kidding. We'll start getting into that and the way in which everything starts. And I'm going to lay this out. When it happens, you're going to see that it's like a curve. Sorry, you couldn't see my hand there. It's like a curve of the fall into matter. It's almost like a Gnostic myth in a way. But like, look. So you can see that there's like like there's two phases of the moon here. She's sitting in a very, like it's an S. She's almost like a mermaid. There's a shield and a dove. All these symbols have meanings. You know what I mean? She's obviously Venus, planetary Trump. Crown on her head, little cross up there. Hallelujah. Her arms are working in the same. It's like you can see this in like I did this thing with the Fool. The Fool is spinning. If you can see the Fool is spinning, right? He's not spinning. He's a matrix oriented. Boom, like this, right? Her, same thing. It's a net. I did that in the last video. Now see here again, we have like a visual spinning in a sense. The entire card is like, but then she's looking over here. Who's she looking to? That moon? No, she's looking past that moon. And the shield with the Aegis on it. I hope I pronounced that right. It's not Aegis, right? It's Aegis. That would be the shield of Zeus, I guess. I don't know. But then you look at here, and there's another shield over here, and a lion, and a dove. And look, these cards are so parallel, but I just can't deal with them in the same video because this card is really where the Thoth just totally revolutionizes the metaphor that the tarot is. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. Look, like I said, I've recommended both Lan Malo Duquette's work and also basically Aleister Crowley, the Master Therion, the Book of Thoth, which actually, when people ask me, what do I think Aleister Crowley's greatest contribution to the magical arts is, I say it's the Book of Thoth, not the Book of the Law. But then again, you can ask anyone that's a fan of Crowley what they think is, like the man has done so. That was the single greatest magical contributor as far as I'm concerned. Ideologically, symbolically, just what he did. Now this is Lady Frida Harris painting these, but always in the instruction of Aleister Crowley, so we can see this. So you just invest in the symbolism. Go figure it out. But next video, we're going to be dealing with the other half, which is where we're going to start talking about how Zadi is not the star and what Crowley did with the double twist. So I'll get back to it. Anywho, thanks for not watching this.